In today's video, I'm going to be telling you exactly how I paid off $20,000 of debt in 7 months. Hello everyone, my name is Mariah. I am your fellow small business owner, and on this channel I like to share with you business tips, give you business advice. If that interests you, make sure you subscribe to this channel and let's get straight into it. We're gonna have to go back about almost 2 years ago. I was currently working as a sales associate, and I also was running my jewelry business as well. So I had decided during the pandemic that I was ready for a change. I knew that I always wanted to be a full-time business owner slash entrepreneur. I knew before I could do that, I wanted to make sure everything aligned right so that I could leave my job comfortably. That means I had to pay off $20,000 of debt. And I did it in 7 months. So here's how I did it. I had a business credit card that had a couple thousand left on it. And then I had my car that I was paying on as well. I owed close to about $15,000 on my car. This is one thing that I want to let you guys know. Before you take the steps into becoming a full-time entrepreneur or a full-time business owner, make sure that you pay off enough debt so you won't have any worries, especially if you're like just starting out. So I was working as a sales associate. I sold furniture. I was one of the highest sellers in my store. Even though some people made a lot of commission, I knew of a bunch of people who lived paycheck to paycheck. Sometimes the more money you have, if you're not disciplined with money, it's really easy to spend it all. So I had to start being more disciplined with my money. The main thing that I had to learn to change to be able to pay off this debt was to stop shopping as much. The next thing was learning every paycheck to put some money aside to pay my debts off. I had planned on it being 6 months to pay off everything, but it had turned to 7, which was fine. On average, I was making roughly around $4,000 a month, and I was putting half of that money away. If you have not seen my previous video, I had talked about how I was starting to think a different way about money, which was the more money I invest and put up, the more it's going to be set aside for my future. I had started reading books about money and finances, and the first book that I read was The Richest Man in Babylon, where they talked about how they put aside 10% of their gold to invest, and that's how I came up with the 10 times rule. Your emergency savings should be around 6 months to 1 year, depending on how much your bills are. I will list a video where I'm talking about the 10 times rule, and that also mentions it as well. At first, I was like, oh, how am I even going to do this? Like $15,000 to pay off a car. But when you think of it like this, if you ever was thinking about paying your car off, this will be a quick way to make you want to pay your car off. You get charged interest, right? The longer you're paying on your car, the more interest you have. I saved myself $6,000 paying my car off 3 years earlier. When I started to figure out the numbers, I'm like, dang, if I pay my car off this quick, I'm going to be saving myself $6,000 in interest. Yeah, I'm going to do this. So that was my whole determination. Also, leaving the toxic work environment, not paying all this interest. I'm like, $6,000 can go towards more investments, can go towards my business. Let's do it. What you have to do is put your savings aside first. Basically, what I did was focus on the 10 times rule. Every pay period, putting half of my money up, calculating how much, if I pay this off, how much I'm saving in interest. Once I did that, the first thing was I actually split down in half. So in the first like 3.5 months, I paid a big chunk, which was about $7,000 and some dollars. And then after a couple more months, I had paid another big chunk to finally pay my car off. And as I think about it now, I was like, oh dang, that was a lot of money, but it was gonna come out of my account either way it went, and I'm just grateful that I was able to do it. I'm here to say anyone can do it, no matter what type of job you have. One thing I will say regarding ways not to climb yourself into debt is don't get debt that you cannot afford. It's so lovely when you get approved for a credit card, it's like $10,000 and it's easy to go spend, but if you know you won't be able to pay it back every month, it's kind of just like pointless. What I tell people about credit cards is think of it as this. You're getting a loan on an item just like a regular loan. You're gonna have to pay it back either the next month or whenever, or your credit score is going to drop. I just wanted to keep it simple. That's exactly how I paid $20,000 worth of debt off. That was just basically coming down to learning how to manage my money properly, saving, and looking towards a bigger goal. Always set goals, because if you don't have a goal, you don't know what you're trying to accomplish at the end. Set a 3-month goal. Maybe you have a credit card that's $1,000 and you say, I want to pay this credit card off in 3 months. How are you going to do this? This is how much on average I make in a paycheck. I'm gonna take this amount out each paycheck. Let's say you get paid bi-weekly, so that's twice a month. That's 6 times in 3 months. Take this small amount out of your paycheck every pay period, put it in a savings account. I recommend, because you won't have physical access to the cash, and work your way towards having that $1,000 to pay your credit card off. Also, another tip I wanted to mention, I got this question before. If you have debt, would you work on the small stuff or the big stuff first? I say work on the small stuff. Why? Because smaller debts you can imagine paying off quicker than a bigger debt. Get what I'm saying? So let's say you owe $1,000, right? I just told you 3 months, break it down, pay it off. You owe $10,000. Try to pay that off in 3 months. You're like, oh, how am I going to be able to do that? But once you see, oh, I just paid off this $1,000, I can do this $10,000. It might take me a year or so, but I definitely can do it. And your credit score starts to go up and you're feeling good and you're like, yes, I did it. And once you start learning how to do those type of things, your mind is going to change the way you think about money. You always hear that saying, money is the root of all evil. I don't believe it. Whoever has the money can make the choice for the money to be put to good use or to bad use, okay? Every adult has choices. That is exactly how I paid off $20,000 in debt in 7 months. And those are some tips that I want to give to you, especially if you are struggling with your finances. I recommend reading The Richest Dad in Babylon to get you started on your journey to financial freedom. So I'm going to end this video here. If you enjoyed today's content, make sure you give me a like. If you have any questions for me, comment them down below. And for more, make sure you subscribe.